responding. Be responding.
You can wear the
Keeps moving up.
I know. You told me that before.
Just to the left, and you're going to go into that larger room in there, the dining room.
28. Almost done. Oh, 30.
Just to the left, guys, you're going to go into that larger room in there.
Looks like dengue and ass in there.
How's everybody doing? Thanks for waiting in line. We had no idea it was going to be this busy today. We do free tours and everyone shows up. It's amazing. Thanks for coming to the Hanna house. My name is Allie. I'm one of the managers of the house. I'm going to take you around today and give you some history, some paranormal stories, because I'm guessing you guys might be a little interested in that, maybe. We're going to move quickly because we've been doing tours straight since 1 o'clock, and Sharon and I might fall over here pretty soon because we go upstairs, downstairs, downstairs, upstairs. So I'm going to go pretty fast, so bear with me as I'm talking. The house is built in 1858. We're 150 years old this year, so happy birthday, Hanna house. Built by a gentleman named Alexander Hanna. He was a prominent Indianapolis businessman, did several things in town, actually participated in the gold rush, but came back to Indy and bought this parcel of land from his father. Back then, guys, 300 plus acres, all farm. Looked much, much different back then. So we're just really glad to still have the house here and some surrounding property. The hardwood floors in the house are original. If anybody's interested in history, it kind of blows my mind to think somebody was walking down these floors 150 years ago, and we are today. The mantle, if you get a chance to come back, we do host overnight tours. Let me stop and talk about this for a second. If you didn't get a chance to stop by our booth, we're looking for volunteers for our annual Haunted House fundraiser. The Haunted House is what allows the Hanna house to stay open. Without it, we can't really afford property taxes, which, as you can imagine, are outrageous. And some of the bills and some of the small restorations that we get to do every year. So even if you can come for an hour or a day or anything, and you don't have to be a monster. We need people to give tours, we need people to go get food, we need costumes, makeup, all kinds of stuff. Please sign up, put your email out there, and Amber will be happy to write down your email and give you information. Because if you volunteer so much time, we're giving discounts or free overnight ghost hunting investigations. Our investigations are 8 hours. We have equipment that we use here at the house. If you're not a professional ghost hunter, we'll teach you how to use it and help you out while we're doing stuff during the night. If you're already part of a group and you want to come in, we'll book you a private investigation. We're offering discounts on that too, or even free ones. So please, please, please stop by and sign up before you leave today. Now I don't know where I was. But anyway, next time you come back to the house, take a look at this mantle in more detail. There's some cool stuff on here. There's a creepy little guy down here with ram's horns, and there's some neat mythological figures on the mantle. And this is not original to the house. This was actually part of the Bates House Hotel, which is downtown where the Embassy Suite sits now. And actually, Abraham Lincoln, when he passed through Indy on his way to Washington for the inauguration, stayed at the Bates House. So we're excited to have this other part of history. This is the dining room. All the dining done in here. There's actually a hatched door in that closet. The servants would pass the food through from the kitchen into the dining room so they didn't have to walk through the drafty hallway. As far as paranormal activities in these two rooms, A lot of the stories I'm going to tell you are more recent or things that have come from managers whom I trust. One of the managers who worked here for 30 years was here by himself last year before Haunted House. And Sharon and I showed up at the back door, and he answered the door and his face was white. And he said, "Did you guys just scream?" And of course we hadn't. We just gotten here. He said he heard a woman's blood-curdling scream come from the dining room. He thought we were in here playing a trick on him. So I don't know what that was. We heard footsteps in here. We've heard babies crying. There's been a tablecloth fly across the room in here. So those are some of the different paranormal things that have kind of gone on in this room. As far as if you read about scratching in the walls, maybe you've read about that in some of the books. I think that's our friendly raccoon who once a year gets locked in the walls. Some of the things you read you can't believe. Come on in here. Ceilings help, and they also have the parlors. You guys probably noticed when you came in, the porch extends all the way along the front of the house. That's not original. Originally it was a smaller porch, but they still did entertain on top. That porch was added on about the turn of the century. And a lot of people don't know that Madison Avenue at one time was a toll road. So any horse and buggy or any type of vehicle that passed by had to pay Hanna a toll for driving on his property. This picture, everybody loves to talk about. This was found in a family member's house in Brotherville. And we don't know that she's part of the owner's family, but we like to think she is, and we've named her Hazel. The cool part about this picture is no matter where you're standing in the room, her eyes are looking at you. I suggest you try it out as we move into the parlors, but a lot of people think maybe it's a post-mortem picture and her eyes are painted on, which was pretty common back then, so that could be why the eyes look that way. So take a look at that as you follow me into the parlors. All the way around, feel free to have a seat. Hi. Come on in. We're going to go all the way around. You may have to stand kind of back there. And a couple more people right back here. This is a big room. Come on in all the way around. You guys might have to stand in front of some people. Come on in right around here. These two rooms are the formal parlors used for entertaining adults only. There were never children allowed in these rooms, but of course we'll make an exception today. You'll notice the windows go pretty much floor to ceiling. That's because they lift up and they continue their entertaining outside on the porch. Back then the stairs weren't going up to the porch, so the only way you could get to it was through the windows here in the parlors. Now Hanna married a woman named Elizabeth later in life, and they had planned on having a family, so they added on the servants' quarters in 1872. However, their baby did not make it. There is a child's tombstone in Crown Hill with the rest of the family, so they had no heirs. So when they both passed away, it was Roman and Maria Ayler who purchased the home in 1899, and it's still their grandchildren that own the home today. So there's only ever been two families that have owned the house. Roman was a jeweler here in Indianapolis, and this clock was in his storefront window downtown. Stuff to see. As far as paranormally in this room, one of the nephews, one of the part owners of the house, came in here one day when everybody was working and pushed the two couches together to take a nap. And he said something was pounding on his chest, like, "Get out, I do not want you napping in here." Other than that, most recently on our last overnight investigation, we had an EMF detector going crazy in here. And usually we don't get too much in these rooms, but it was going nuts that night. So anyway, that's some more recent stories. I want to show you guys this. Everybody watch this thing. Hurt anybody. What do you think this is all about? Anybody know?
Trapdoor to the...
Yeah, everybody thinks it's a trapdoor to the basement. That's the first thing. Don't worry, you didn't do it. I did that earlier. I was like, I broke the clock. Everybody thinks it's a trapdoor, but it's actually not. Back then, in rooms like this, they knew they were going to have a large area rug, so to save money, they put cheap wood in the middle and expensive flooring all around. Which is pretty funny, because Hanna didn't really spare expense anywhere else in the house for its time. It was a pretty grand home. Although we do have the receipt for all the brick that built the house, $500, which is the deductible on our car insurance now. So anyway, I'm guessing this was pretty common, and I always tell people next time you're in a historic home, go lift up their rugs. Don't tell them I told you to do it. Just check it out. Any questions so far? Okay, let's go upstairs.